Alright, so today I'll be showing you guys how I make my zooms and position shakes, and we'll be starting off with the zooms. So just search for blur mode curves, and I'm gonna use this preset. It has 0 shutter duration and the wrap X and Y is on reflect. So you can just copy these settings and then just save it as a preset. And then you wanna animate the CDs. Go to the end of your clip and put it to 0.25. We're gonna be making a zoom in transition first. Then go back 4 frames and put it to 0.925. Then go back 8 frames and put it to 1. Then just click on this first keyframe, hold shift and click on the last one. This will highlight all of the keyframes. Then just make them manual fade. Then you want to switch to the curves and drag this up so it's more visible. Then drag it like this. Then for the second part you just wanna drag the preset, animate the CDs again. I'm just gonna drag this keyframe over here for now. And at the beginning you wanna put it to 1.75. Then go forward 4 frames and put it to 1.075. Then go forward 8 frames and put it to 1. Then just highlight all of the keyframes again and make them manual fade. And go to the curves and drag them like this. Okay, so now we have a zoom in. But it isn't done yet. You wanna add another blur mode curves. I'm adding it to my first clip. Then drag it like before this one and animate the CDs. Then select all of the keyframes and press Ctrl C to copy. Then go down to these blur mode curves and press Ctrl V to paste. Then just select the keyframes and move them to the end. Then do the same for the second part. So just animate the CDs. Copy these keyframes down here. And remember to delete this other keyframe. And now it all look like this. Then we just wanna add some blur to hide all of the reflections. So search for spiral blur. And I'm gonna use this preset. You need to change the center to 0.5 and then this spin angle to 0 and the zoom amount to 75. Then just save it as a preset so it's easier. And now you wanna animate the zoom amount and we're gonna drag this keyframe to the end of the clip. Then go back to these keyframes and put it to 7.5. Then go to these keyframes and put it to 0. Then just select all of the keyframes and make them manual fades. And then drag the curves like this. So now we have a blur for the first part. Then just add the preset to your second clip and animate the zoom amount. Then go to these keyframes and put it to 7.5 and to the end and put it to 0. Then just select all of the keyframes and make them manual fades. And drag the curves like this. Now we have a zoom in transition. There's a bit of reflections at the end, and we can try to hide that by adding a new blur mode curves. We're gonna first make a new track, so Ctrl-Shift-Q to create a new track, and then just drag blur mode curves on this one, drag it past this, and then put it to 0.9, and this will zoom in a bit. So now there won't be as much reflections. And now for the zoom in, zoom out, it's basically the same as for the zoom in, but I'll show you how to do it anyway. So just add a new blur mode curves, drag it to the beginning here, then animate the seed dist, go to the end of the clip and put it to 1.75, and then go 4 frames backwards. Oops. Now it's trying to select this one, so we'll just drag it like this to update it. Then go backwards 4 frames and put it to 1.075. Then go backwards 8 frames and put it to 1. Then just select the keyframes and make them manual fades. And then just drag it like this. Then for the second part, just add blur mode curves, animate the seed dist. Just gonna drag this over here. Then at the beginning you wanna make it 0.25, and then go forward 4 frames and make it 0.925. Then go forward 8 frames and put it to 1. Then just select all of the keyframes again and make them manual fades. So this one didn't change. Okay, like that. And then just drag the curves. Alright, so now we have a zoom in and a zoom out. But we're gonna add another blur mode curves. Then drag it to the end, the beginning, and then just animate the seed disc again and copy these keyframes. Then delete this one. Then do the same for the second part. Okay, like this. And now we just need to add the blur. So search for spiral blur, add the preset. I'm gonna drag this before the other spiral blur, then just animate the zoom amount and drag this keyframe to the end, then go back to these keyframes and put it to 7.5. Then go to these keyframes and put it to 0. Then select the keyframes and make them manual fades. Now it selected the other one, so just drag it like this so it'll update. And then try to do it again, so just select the keyframes and make it manual fade. Then just drag the curves. Okay, then just add the preset to your second part and animate the zoom amount. Go to these keyframes and make it 7.5, and then the end keyframes and put it to 0. And then select the keyframes and make them manual fades. And drag the curves again. So now we have a zoom in and a zoom out. Then we just wanna add a shake. So search for blur mode curves and then you wanna add it to a new track that's above this one, and make sure it isn't under this. I'm just gonna make it under this zoom, but it's above this one. And now it'll affect the track, so as you can see here. Then you wanna animate the rotation and the shift Y. You can also do the shift X if you want to. This is just how I do it. Okay, how can I drag this so you can see what I'm doing? Maybe like this. Then go to the start of the first clip and make the shift Y minus 0.025, like that, and then the rotation -1. Then go to the beginning of your next clip and make this positive, so it's just 0.025, and also the rotation is just 1. Then go to the beginning of the next clip and make these negative again, so minus 0.025 and -1. Then go to the end of this clip and make them positive again. So you basically just repeat the same thing. Then we wanna select all of the keyframes and make them smooth fades. Now we can see how that looks. Okay, so something I usually do is I select all of the rotation keyframes, then go like forward 3 frames, and then drag all of these, so all of the rotation keyframes are like three frames forward from the Shift Y keyframes. I think it looks better, but you can do it however you want. Then I'm gonna delete these because we don't need them. But you wanna start the rotation a bit earlier, so we're gonna make so the shake begins here. Because for these 3 frames, okay, I guess it's 4 frames, but there won't be like any movement from the rotation since it starts here. So we need to go back like a whole clip length, so somewhere around here, and then start the shake here. So I'm just gonna do it like this, then go forward 4 frames, and then make it smooth fade. Okay. So now the rotation starts here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then we can also add some RSMB. I'm gonna add this one. Okay, so basically 0.25 on these two and then 50. You don't want to add too much blur because it'll like start glitching. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't think the motion blur is working. Okay, yeah, now. Okay, you can see how it like glitches a bit. So I'm just gonna put it back to this. And now I'll just pre-render this on full quality so you can see how it looks. Okay, so it looks like this. You could also add some lens blur to make it look a bit softer.